Day. Once again, here's your host, voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And good evening, everyone. It is great to be with you. We are here at Timeout on Pine in Huntington Valley. I cannot believe, let's see, we have gone through February, March, April, May, June, July, and here we are 7 months later, ready to resume Pro Football Report. 7 months have passed since that awful day, that sad day in Arizona. Boy, how many of you remember that day? I can remember everything about it. I can remember the great start that the Eagles got off to. By halftime, they were comfortably up. I mean, this team was 30 minutes away from winning a Super Bowl. 30 minutes away, and it didn't happen. It came down to the very end. But you know what? I've heard people with a lot of reasons for why the Eagles didn't win that Super Bowl. They've talked about the holding call on Jim Bradbury. They've talked about James Bradbury. They've talked about the fact that the Eagles did not play the kind of defense they should have played to stop Kansas City in the second half. But to be really honest with you, and I'm telling you what I honestly think, I thought Jalen Hurts had a great game. I thought Jalen Hurts actually outperformed Patrick Mahomes in that game. But, and this is a big but, that fumble, that unforced error that occurred in the first half that resulted in a scoop and score by the Kansas City Chiefs changed the whole game. I mean, that was it. That lost the game right there. Because figure it out. You can go into all the other reasons, but that was 7 points for Kansas City, and they lost by 3. They lost 38-35. So there was a game that the Eagles should have won. One play made the difference. But now that we've gone through that, I promise you I will not talk about, I will not think about Super Bowl 57 ever again. It's purged. It's out of my system. Hopefully it's out of your system. And on we go to the 2023 season. And we start the show here at Timeout on Pine with a great guest, one of the great Eagles linebackers, one of the great Lions linebackers, one of the great Cowboys for a brief period of time, and a great friend of mine, Garry Cobb. Gary, it's great to see you.
How you doing, Merrill?
It's
good to be here.
I'm good. I am good. I'm excited. You know, the only thing that bothers me, I've already talked about 6 things that bother me, but the only thing that bothered me was doing the broadcast last Thursday night, end of the preseason, and not having another game for 17 days.
Yeah,
Isn't that weird?
It definitely is something that is very unusual to me because, you know, you're used to getting into a rhythm, you know, where you got a game every week. And, you know, I've never been in a situation where you would go much longer than a week without a game. And so it just seems strange, you know, like there's something missing because, you know, you build up. And the thing is, all the fans, of course, they want to see football.
Yeah.
And so to have everything kind of shut down there, now what it does is it opens up a door to let college ball jump in there and have games on Sunday and stuff like that. But I don't know why they decided to do it like that. But
I mean, why not move the preseason back a week?
Why not?
So that the Thursday night and the Saturday games are it.
Yeah.
And then a week later, you're right into football.
That's right. I mean, I don't know why they did it like this. I really wasn't paying attention to see that it was exactly like that. But, you know, I'm ready for some games to
count.
occur that count. Yeah. That means something.
Well, you could say that a reason that they did that is to get everybody healthy, give a team chances to heal. But the regulars don't play in the preseason anyhow.
You're right.
Jalen Hurts hasn't seen the field. I mean, it's strictly practice.
And, you know, and a team, you know, like the Eagles, you know, where they really, you know, they don't emphasize it. You see everybody else is kind of teams are flowing that way, which is they do more in the practices.
Yep, they do.
Where they have the, you know, practices where one team will come in and they will do that, and they seem like to emphasize it more. They're happy with it for whatever reason, but, you know, it's something I'm not crazy about, but. You know, you really don't. You know, I'm not calling the shots. So,
but you know what, Gary? That's what makes it, in a way, very suspenseful.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, a week from Sunday, when they open in Foxborough against the Patriots, because you don't know what it's going to be like when players play real football for the first time in the Eagles' case, it's 7 months. But
You're
this
right.
is the first time in 7 months they're playing real football. And the same thing with the Patriots, even longer because they didn't do anything last year. So for them, it's 8.5 months. So it's a completely different situation. They go into this, and crazy things can happen. I mean, look at last year. The Eagles almost lost their opener in Detroit. Now, they didn't.
Yeah.
They hung in there, and they won it, but they could have lost that game.
It got very close, and of course they saw something in that game that had them make a move during the offseason, which is they went ahead and picked up DeAndre Swift.
Good move.
But Swift, he was trouble in that game. He made a number of big runs, screens, which is something we're going to see this year. The Eagles are going to be more of a screen team this year. They're going to run more screens, meaning that because they are such a threat downfield, that when they do run a screen, it's hard to do both. If you're thinking pass, and and the defensive line is flying off the ball, they're trying to get to the quarterback. The screen is something that is just it just messes up your field, because as the defensive line taking off, it really slows them down, because they're going like, look, that screen is killing us. So, you have sometimes a defensive line where they won't be flying off the ball as much with screens and draws. And I can see where the Eagles are going to keep people honest this year with that. But, they still have – I think they're going to be better with their passing game, because it just seems like you've got a better feel that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen, they all got a better feel for what they're seeing. They read things faster, meaning they're going to know what the other team's doing and make an adjustment earlier than maybe they did last year. And I think they're going to come out like they like to do, which is on the attack, where they build up a lead quick. They come out, they hit a team. It's like a boxer comes out and he's throwing everything.
That's what they do.
That's the way the Eagles are. They build up a lead, and then maybe in the second half they kind of back off.
Then they run.
They use that running game. But they've got weapons, man. I mean, you look at a guy like Dallas Goedert. He doesn't get his due, really, because other teams, other tight ends in the league, they're the number one weapon on their team, down in Kansas City.
Well, that's Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
Or San Francisco, George Kittle.
That's right. He's a bigger part of the offense. But with
Mark Andrews in Baltimore.
That's right. Mark Andrews in Baltimore. But with the Eagles, when you got an A.J. Brown on your team, you got a Devontae Smith, you can't make the tight end the number one target. So hopefully he stays healthy, because I don't think people really realize how good he is.
Oh, he's great. But you know what? I think this is the best trio, using the tight end as the third.
Yeah.
This is the best trio in Eagles history.
I think so. I think it's so. I mean, just looking at them, and really I can see where, because Devontae is such a great route runner, he's making A.J. better. See, because A.J. is such a physical specimen.
He really is.
First of all, which, if I were playing a linebacker, and he were on my team, if he wasn't on my team, I probably wouldn't say it. But if he was on my team, I'm going to say, look, man, you should not be a wide receiver. You are too big and too strong to be a wide receiver. It's illegal. Because I saw the way he was dwarfing the linebackers. A.J.'s walking out there, and you can see how muscular he is and how big he is, and you're saying he looks like a linebacker.
Well,
he's a wide receiver.
He does until he leaves his feet and elevates.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's one of the great jumpers that I have seen. 50-50 balls aren't 50-50.
That's right.
They're 90-10.
And see, that's what I mean about these guys are making each other better. Now, because A.J. is so effective with the 50-50 balls, now Devontae, he's gotten better and better with the 50-50 ball. So you got Jalen with both of them. He's confident in putting the ball up and giving them a chance to come down with it, because they know if they're on there and they're one-on-one, the chances are they're going to come down with the football. So they're really making each other better. And, I mean, you really have two number one receivers. I can say that, one of them is much better than the other. I mean, they are just two outstanding receivers. And then, you don't even get a chance with Dallas. I mean, he's there. And really, DeAndre's an outstanding receiver. That's one thing about him. And I think you're going to see him split out some.
Well, we already saw last year that Kenneth Gainwell
that's right.
is a very good receiver.
Very good receiver. That's right.
He was the third down back.
Yes. And see, but, with the ability of DeAndre, they're gonna balance that out. But they've got so many weapons offensively, and then you got that offensive line, which normally if you had an offensive line this good, you say, I know we might have a receiver here or there, but we got to run the football.
Yeah.
I mean, we got an offensive line this good. We got to run the football. But the Eagles can't just run the football because they got all these weapons, and they got to let these guys have the ball. So it's a good type of problem to have. But really, offensively, as I said, I think they're going to be better than they were last year. Defensively, though, that's where you got guys who are stepping in and who you're going to keep an eye on because they're going to have to develop. Like Nakobe Dean, where he's taking on all this responsibility at once. And I tell you, I'm not being critical of the Eagles, but I don't know if I'd have let T.J. Edwards walk because he only got $7 million.
Yeah. But you know what? He wanted to go back to Chicago anyhow.
Yeah,
that's his area.
Yeah, I know he might have wanted to, but
he became a very good player.
Oh, he's a very, very good player. And that's the reason I'm going like, as well as he played last year. I mean, he made so many, very few missed tackles. He made tackles out in the open field. He did a good job in coverage. He's a smart, guy, keeping everybody in the right place with making the adjustments with motion and different things happening. A smart linebacker that he played so well. I'm going like I just would have had to re-sign him.
Yeah, but Garry Cobb, when you look at Nakobe Dean, you're talking about somebody who was the Butkus Award winner as the outstanding linebacker in the collegiate ranks.
Yes.
He's great.
He is.
He's unbelievably smart.
He's unbelievably
he's
smart.
Dedicated.
Right.
He's got the work ethic. He's
You're
got
right.
the athleticism.
Yes.
I think as this season goes on, he's just going to get better and better.
I agree. I mean, I agree, and that's why, look over there at him, and just getting a chance to talk to him. You see how bright he is.
Yeah, he's bright.
He's and in fact last year I started seeing it with how well he knew what was going on and everything. And the thing is, the kid has played in big games. I mean, he had it in college where you're playing in games that's going to decide the national championship. That's playing in the big games.
Yeah.
So the bright lights don't just make him just fade, but it's going to be exciting, man. I'm telling you, looking at the offense. And their ability to put points on the board and the defense, man, you look at what they've added with some of these young kids.
Yep.
And you got all these pass rushers and things. I'm going like
yeah, well, let's put the defense under a little bit more of a microscope.
Okay.
Because there are some players who bear watching very, very carefully.
Correct.
We'll do that. But right now we're going to take a break. We're at Timeout on Pine. Garry Cobb is our guest, and we'll be back right after this. Enjoy sports, live music, trivia, karaoke, and more at Timeout on Pine in Huntington Valley. Timeout on Pine features the area's largest screens along with craft cocktails and delicious food, like the popular Nashville chicken sandwich or one of their mouth-watering burgers. There's no better place to watch the game or to have a night out with your friends and family. Go to timeoutpa.com today to see upcoming events or to book your next party or affair. Timeout on Pine, 2840 Pine Road in Huntington Valley.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for autopay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, Prove it.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
This is the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA, a weekly recap of your Philadelphia Eagles and news around the NFL. Broadcasting live from Timeout on Pine, tonight's show is brought to you by Rob's Automotive and Collision, BCWSA, Timeout on Pine, Allstate Fairless Hills Tom LaCroix, Penworth Financial Services, Penn Community Bank, Capital Grill, Ventresca's LTD, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. We now go live to Timeout on Pine for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Now, here's your host, voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are once again at Timeout on Pine. Merrill Reese and Garry Cobb with you. We started to talk about the defense. I saw, I think it was one of the papers or one of the online things where they went through a lot of players on the team. Mm-hmm. And they asked every player, who do you think is going to have a breakout year? And guys came up with a lot of different opinions. But the name that kept coming out more than any other.
Number 98.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, the number one draft choice.
Yep.
And from day one, people have been raving about him. Now, the fact is that we all know that here is a young guy who had it not been for an accident or a big mistake on his part of getting involved in a drag race where there was a fatality in Georgia,
yeah.
if that hadn't have happened, if he had finished with a clean slate, he would have been at first 2 or 3 pick in the entire draft. He was that good.
Yes.
And the Eagles got him at 10, which was a miracle.
Yeah.
I thought they're never going to get him at 10, so they ought to get Nolan Smith at 10. Well, as it turned out, they got him at 10, and they got Carter at 10 and Nolan Smith at 30, both in the first round. But I honestly do believe that this kid is going to live up to expectations.
Well, the thing that he comes in with, first of all, he's got a lot of people around him that are just a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
He's got some veteran players, a guy like Fletcher Cox, who came in similar situation where you're one of those top picks. You come in. How do you, not try to do too much? How do you stay focused and play your game and not be caught into trying to do more than you can, and really just kind of get out of your rhythm and everything. He's going to have, Fletcher there. He's got him there to talk to. He's also got a lot of his buddies he played with in college.
Sure.
So it's a great atmosphere to be in because the situation he comes in, he could really come in and where he feel like everybody's got their eye on me and everything. He just and then he comes in with a team where, look, you don't have to carry this team.
No.
Kid. You just do your job, kid. And he's going to get single blocked because they're not going to double team him right away. They're going to be thinking about all these other guys they got to worry about. I mean, you got Hassan Reddick with all the sacks he had. He's coming from the outside. You got Josh Sweat, who is very underrated. I don't think people give him his due.
Isn't he good?
Yeah, he's good because he plays the run as well as the pass. So you got him over there, and you got all these guys with all these sacks, and not to mention, Brandon Graham. You got him coming off the corner as well. So you got all this going on, and, it's a situation where a team really isn't thinking about, Jalen Carter, saying, boy, we got to make sure we get him. We got all these other guys to think about. So they're not going to be thinking about double teaming him or doing things to really make sure that he gets blocked. And because of that, I think he's going to get a chance to shine. And then he's going to get single block.
And then you have the guy who was number one last year who really didn't live up to expectations. And I say that knowing that the reasons were injuries.
Yeah.
He had the high ankle sprain. He had the concussion. Mm-hmm. But Jordan Davis is a very good player. Now, I don't know that he's the penetrator, that he's go eat the quarterback.
Yeah.
But he is a great space taker, and he is prolific against the run.
That's right. And, the thing he comes in with is really it's probably good that you got Jalen Carter there because what it's going to do is it motivates Jordan. So Jordan Davis, who is he comes in right away because of his size and his strength and everything. He's an ideal guy against the run to plug things up and everything. But he's becoming a better pass rusher because he's got Jalen Carter, who is already a tremendous pass rusher. I mean, and see, the thing about Carter is he's got the explosiveness off the ball, so he can run you over. If an offensive lineman, if he's not braced, if he doesn't have his weight on his feet, and he's ready, and he can't let this guy get underneath him too. He's powerful coming off the ball. So you got that, and he's got the speed coming around the corner because he really could line up at defensive end. He's that fast. So you got that combination. Offensive linemen, they do not like that type of combination because they could get run over if they don't have that firm stance, and he can go around them too. See, because he's got the speed off the corner, and he's got the good hands where he slaps down the hands good. So he's going to be a guy who right away I think he's going to be an impact player.
Garry Cobb is our guest. Garry, what do you remember about your rookie year when you were drafted by the Lions back in 1937? You came from Southern. I have a lot of room to talk. Right? They came over from University of Southern California. To the Lions. What round were you picked in?
I really was drafted by the Cowboys.
You were drafted by the...
I was drafted by the Cowboys, and I was down there with the Cowboys. The Cowboys had a good team. I was down there with Bob Brunick.
Yeah.
I was down there with D.D. Lewis. I was down there with Thomas Henderson. And see,
Hollywood
I was
Henderson.
there. Yeah, I was there to that last, and I got released at the last cut.
What round were you picked in? Ninth round. Now they don't even have ninth.
No,
round.
They don't even.
But they picked you in the ninth round.
That's right.
So the Lions were your first team that you played with.
Yes.
But I never knew you were drafted by the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I was drafted by the Cowboys. I was there throughout the whole camp. I still, different times we were at the Super Bowl and everything. I will see those guys from the Cowboys, and like Drew Pearson. Preston Pearson.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach.
Staubach was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was the quarterback there. And, I remember racing him because we would do the runs after practice, and I would be racing Roger Staubach with the practices afterwards. But they had a great group of guys. I learned a lot from those guys because they had a winning type of the winning was there, meaning that it wasn't just by accident.
No.
Staubach worked. He made sure the other guys worked.
Yeah.
If anything, Jalen makes me think of Staubach because
Really?
he's a quarterback.
Well, you know what? There's a lot to be making an analogy out of.
You look at the athleticism of both
Yeah.
of them. There were two tremendous athletes, and they both were driven, and they drove the people around them. Meaning, you weren't going to be comfortable down around there. Like really, you're going to run all the time because Staubach was out there running. Like I said, I'm racing him at the sprints we're doing after practice. I'm over here racing Roger Staubach.
Now he was much older than Jalen Hurts because don't forget, he went to Naval Academy Prep before he went to the Naval Academy.
That's right.
Spent 4 years at the Naval Academy, and then served for 4 years before he was released and came to the NFL. He was drafted as a future pick by the Cowboys.
Yep. And he was a nice guy. I mean, when I think about the kind of person he was. I mean, he was the kind of guy who the guys on the team knew. Look, this guy is not only our leader, but he cares about every guy on the team. Just to tell you the story, Thomas Henderson had a battle with the drug abuse.
Yes.
After his career, really, that kind of ended his career. Do you know, I ran into Thomas. He's telling me what Roger did for him. Like, Thomas was really on the street. He was done. He was using
Was he really?
Yeah. Staubach made him come over and live in his house. Now, Staubach built, kind of a fortune with real estate.
Sure.
He had him living in his house. Now, you're not going to do that forever. You got your family there and everything. You got him there, but he brought him there. He took him to rehab. He gave Thomas a job with his company, his real estate company.
No kidding.
And got him where he eventually got his own house and everything. But he lived with him about 5 years, lived with Roger. And he, made him go get the different treatment so he'd be able to, put down these drugs. And he said if it wasn't for Roger Staubach, he wouldn't be alive.
Well, here's another interesting part of this.
Yeah.
Did you know that at some point after he stopped playing, Thomas Henderson won the Dallas State lottery?
I know, yeah.
I mean, he won like $20 million.
Yeah, but he went through the money.
He went through $20 million?
He of course, he didn't get the $20 million. However many million he got, Uncle Sam got their part with time really before he got his. But he went through the money. Drugs. Drugs you can go through a whole lot of things.
I thought that was after the drugs. No?
Well, whatever. I know he did. Whatever.
He had nothing. Is he okay today?
No, he's doing good now. He's really doing good, and he tells that story about Roger. How Roger saved his life.
Amazing. Now you went to the Lions, so you're released. And you're claimed by the Lions.
That's right. Got claimed by the Lions. That's right. Then I went up there.
And, who was the coach then?
It was
Monty Clark.
Monty Clark was the coach. Gary Danielson was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Who does the games for college. A lot of college games.
Southeast Conference.
That's right.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, Gary Danielson and everything. But we went. We had some decent teams. Like we went to the playoffs a couple years. Because. After I got there, about a year and a half, I was the defensive captain over there, because, but I really got a lot out of the time I was down there in Dallas with those guys because they believed in winning. They had a winning atmosphere. And Tom Landry, he did a great job. But that was, I know that's not the favorite thing to talk about. I'm not.
That's okay.
Let me leave it away.
That's okay. He was a great coach.
Yep.
All right, back right after this. Sports, live music, trivia, karaoke, and more at Time Out on Pine in Huntington Valley. Time Out on Pine features the area's largest screens along with craft cocktails and delicious food, like the popular Nashville chicken sandwich or one of their mouth-watering burgers. There's no better place to watch the game or to have a night out with your friends and family. Go to timeoutpa.com today to see upcoming events or to book your next party or affair. Time Out on Pine. 2840 Pine Road in Huntington Valley. You're listening to 1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton, and now heard as well on FM at 107.3 FM, W297CL, Levittown.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, prove it.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I take SEPTA so I never miss tip-off.
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
I don't have a car. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I take the Broad Street line to all the games.
I ride the bus.
I ride the train and the subway.
I set my lineup when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
At Penn Community Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your neighbors. That comes in handy when you're purchasing your first place, refinancing an existing mortgage, buying a second home or investment property, or looking to tap into your home's equity. Whatever your situation, we pair the latest products, services, and technology that you need with the experienced banking professionals you want. Visit penncommunitybank.com or stop by your local branch to find out how we can make your family's growth personal. Penn Community Bank. Here we are and here we grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
We now return to Timeout on Pine for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here's your host, voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are, Merrill Reese and Garry Cobb at Timeout on Pine. Have to tell all of you a story you're not going to believe. I met Garry Cobb 38 years ago. I know it was 38 years ago, which means it was 1985. Mm-hmm. And the reason I know it was 1985 is because the Eagles had a preseason game against the Rams in Columbus, Ohio. And when I arrived in Columbus, Ohio that day, my wife Cindy called me and said, I am getting signs that I think I'm about to deliver. And I said, listen, I'm coming home right after the game, and we won't have another game for a week. Go then. She said, I am having contractions. I am going to. So I said, just hold